What he was saying, look, you see Ryan looks different. He doesn't have the same body as last year. He doesn't look as fit. Looks a little flabby. What's your response to all that stuff?
I feel like I look even crazy flabby last fight. I mean, I was drinking, I was bloated. So if he's speaking on that, yeah, you're right. And I already started cutting weight. You know, last fight, I waited to like literally the last day. I was 14 pounds over, hopped in a, bath and sweated it all out. So at the end of the day, he's just looking to get some type of confidence for his son. His son, I heard he shot out with confidence.
Hey, you know what happened to your son last time? I wouldn't be talking. Hey, you talking loud for what happened.
He's smaller though.
I never hear Devin talk, not one.
Bill Haney is still after Ryan Garcia, and it's becoming more obvious every day. Just recently, during Ryan's open workout session in New York ahead of his fight against Rolando Romero, Bill showed up uninvited and started filming him. This wasn't a fan filming his favorite boxer. This was the father of Devin Haney, the same Devin Haney who was dropped 3 times and outclassed by Ryan Garcia last year, watching every move, recording, likely taking mental notes. Ryan didn't take it lightly. He stopped his workout the moment he noticed Bill filming, visibly annoyed. A back-and-forth argument broke out between the two in front of the cameras, and the small crowd gathered. Right now, Ryan sees it for what it is: a strategic move, a scouting mission, disguised as casual observation. Bill didn't like that Ryan called it out, and the tension escalated from there.
What you look like? I know. Sean, it don't look good. It don't look good. Lion! I hear what they're saying. They're saying lion. They're not saying Ryan, they're saying lion.
Even Ryan's father, Henry Garcia, stepped in and ended up arguing with Bill as well. The friction between both camps is no longer just between the fighters. The fathers are now just as involved in the growing rivalry. Ryan's team is convinced that the Haneys are obsessed with him. The fact that Bill Haney would show up at a public workout or even in their press conference for a fight that doesn't even involve his son is telling.
When Devin comes up, we see what he does. He stay real quiet.
Your son don't have a chin. Your son doesn't have a chin.
It's not just gamesmanship, it's fixation. Devin Haney is on the same card, sure, but he's not facing Ryan Garcia. He's facing Jose Ramirez in the co-main event. That's the fight he should be focused on. But instead, Bill Haney is out here recording Ryan's movements, angles, footwork, timing, anything that might give his son an edge in a potential rematch later this year.
But they get up for Devin. We're going to see right now. Does that look like the same Ryan Garcia that wasn't training?
I was here last year.
What's strange is that it's not just Bill showing interest in the rematch. Ryan Garcia himself has made it clear that Devin Haney is still the name he wants. At the grand arrivals for his upcoming fight against Romero, Ryan didn't spend most of his time talking about Raleigh. Instead, he brought the conversation right back to Devin and Bill Haney. He said he's coming back with a bang and that he's not here to play games. He even went so far as to say that he's looking forward to putting another beating on Devin. And this time, he wants to include Bill Haney in the punishment too. The quote was delivered with some humor, but the intent behind it was anything but lighthearted.
Hey, Bill Haney, happy Halloween. Love you so much. I got something to really scare you. Yes! Oh! Yes! Yes! Yes!
Now that Garcia's suspension is over, he's stepping back into the ring for the first time in over a year. His return will be this Friday right in the heart of Times Square against Rolando Romero for the WBA welterweight title. Romero has his own motivation and isn't just there to be a stepping stone. He's 16, 2 with 13 knockouts, and he knows that a loss here likely shuts the door on his headlining days. That's why he's been vocal, aggressive, and direct. In a recent interview with The Ring magazine, Raleigh said he plans to knock Garcia out cold. His words weren't dressed up. He said the fight might be a brawl, and he's coming to mess Ryan up badly. He even suggested Garcia might get hit once and jump out of the ring. That's how convinced he is that Ryan won't be able to take his power.
You have a rematch plans against Devin Haney. Are you looking to show him something?
Oh yeah, I'm willing to show him. I cannot wait. I want to put a whooping on his dad too. That's really who I want to put a whooping on. But Devin could get it as well. Again, I'm gonna do the same thing just like I did last time. Maybe we could run it back in New York too. Why not?
It's worth remembering that Ryan didn't respond well to Gervonta Davis's power back in 2023. He was stopped with a brutal body shot in that fight, and even though he's had dominant moments since, questions about his chin and his ability to absorb big shots have never really gone away. Rolly Romero might not be as technical as Gervonta, but he's explosive, awkward, and hits extremely hard. Ryan knows he has to take this fight seriously. He's even said so himself, that he's preparing for Rolly as if he's preparing for Devin. He's not looking past Romero, even though most of his public comments have still circled back to Haney. That shows just how deeply the Haney rivalry runs.
Skills alone, boxing knowledge alone, who would you pick to be the winner?
I would pick probably Ryan.
Okay, and how do you think do you think Ryan's speed is a match for Rolly's punch?
I think Ryan has extremely fast hands, and he has a tremendous left hook. And that's his bread and butter. So
Romero, for all his trash talk, is a real threat in this matchup. He's aggressive and unpredictable. He usually comes out fast and likes to make the fight chaotic early. If Ryan isn't locked in from the opening bell, it could go south quickly. But Garcia insists he's ready for whatever comes. He says he's hungry, he's explosive, and he can feel the adrenaline building already. He believes his speed and power will be too much for Rolly. He says he's locked in and that this fight is just one step toward the rematch that really matters to him. Devin Haney in October.
Think Ryan cleans up Rolly?
I do.
Think he wins the fight? Yeah,
I think for both fighters obviously the common opponent right there. I think that both fighters, obviously Ryan just fought Tank. Yeah. I think he'll be better since fighting Tank. Yeah. And then the same thing with Rolly. I think Rolly became better from fighting Tank. I think that they knew certain mistakes that they made. I think they believed in their game plan. Got us all to believe in their game plan. I think they came to this fight with the right adjustments.
That's the timeline Ryan has in mind. Beat Romero now, cleanly, and use that momentum to set up the rematch with Devin Haney later in the year, possibly back in New York. He said he's willing to do it all over again. Same location, same result. Only this time, he wants to make it even clearer. He wants to shut down any doubts that came from the failed drug test. His message is consistent. He believes he beat Haney fair and square, and he's ready to do it again under any conditions. He even wants Bill Haney to feel the loss too, claiming he's looking forward to whipping both father and son. It's more than just a fighter's bravado. It's personal now.
I think excited is like a strong word, but I'm interested. I want to see how he handles that traumatic experience that he went through and see how he bounced back from it. So, yeah.
Do you think he wins a rematch against Ryan Garcia? How do you think that fight would play out if they were to fight again with obviously no drugs involved this time?
I know he's strong mentally, so he can win for sure, but it all depends on how he's feeling after he gets back. Is he the same fighter? Let's see.
On the other side of this storyline, Devin Haney has remained relatively quiet compared to his father. He's facing Jose Ramirez on the same card in the co-main event and hasn't fought since that chaotic April bout against Ryan. Devin too made it known that he didn't agree with how quickly Garcia's suspension was lifted. In his mind, Ryan should be doing more time for the Osterine situation. But regardless of how he feels, the fights are set. Ryan gets the main spotlight, and Devin's return plays out in the shadow of that. That's gotta sting, considering Haney was the undefeated star before their meeting. Now the attention is back on Ryan, who despite the drug test controversy, still has the louder voice and a stronger fan base.
I still think Devin Haney can beat Ryan Garcia.
Oh, yeah. I do.
Don't fight that type of style. Don't stand right in front of him.
Yeah.
Do your Devin Haney, and get out of there.
And that's what you do with rematches. You find everything you did wrong. You know it instantly after the fight's over. You come back and you right those wrongs. I do believe that it's a rematch that he will win. I think we've talked about this time and time again. I think it's a rematch that both guys really need to have.
To many pros, the optics of Bill Haney showing up to film Garcia during his workout say a lot. They say this isn't over for the Haneys, not by a long shot. Devin needs to beat Ramirez first, and that's not guaranteed. Ramirez is dangerous and experienced. If Devin slips up, the rematch might not happen at all. But assuming both Garcia and Haney win on May 2nd, the path toward an October rematch is open. And it's not just Ryan chasing it, Bill Haney is chasing it too. He's already laying the groundwork, trying to find weaknesses, trying to get back the edge his son lost in the ring.
Was staring him in his face. You know what I'm saying? This is WBC.
His latest, he said that it won't be Ramirez and that he is now suggesting himself and Oscar De La Hoya at this point. I want your thoughts on that.
That would be great. He need that.
Listen, he is going to play himself out of a guy. He will play himself out of a guy that a guy like His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh is even interested in if he continues to play.
After their explosive first encounter in April 2024, Garcia has remained vocal and confident, pulling no punches in both his interviews and his outlook. Speaking to the Ring magazine, Garcia detailed the strategic brilliance behind his approach to fighting Haney. The game plan coming in on this fight was basically not letting Devin Haney catch a rhythm, Garcia explained. We knew which side he leans to most of the time, and our whole strategy was catching him unexpectedly. That unpredictability translated into 3 clean knockdowns in their first bout, all stemming from Garcia's infamous left hook. It's the punch that's come to define him, not just in the ring, but in the narrative of the fight game itself.
And the hook comes from, remember, the hook is the shot that knock fighters out the most because it comes from the blind side. It comes from around here. So in the 11th round when he got knocked down, he didn't see the shot coming. He was throwing a hook with his head in the air and got caught. So it's a lot of things that has to be taught.
Garcia's strategy was pure disruption. Haney is a rhythm fighter. He likes to fight off a rhythm, so never giving him a moment he could catch that. Sometimes I was throwing fast, sometimes I was throwing slow, and it worked beautifully, Garcia said. Devin couldn't consistently land his shots, and that ultimately helped me win the fight. The psychological edge was established early, as Garcia connected with a punishing left hook just 30 seconds into the first round. That single shot didn't just land cleanly, it set the tone for the entire fight. Haney was forced into a shell, second-guessing his jabs, wary of exposing himself again.
Because I know I didn't take steroids, it's not going to be much different. I mean, and like, the crazy thing is they want to keep on saying, oh, it's because of the PEDs, it's because of the PEDs. I was on fighting a guy with PEDs. PEDs don't help you block a left hook. You know, he didn't block any of it.
Garcia expanded on what he saw in Haney's habits. I noticed that he was leaning in with his jab a little too much out of range. When you do that, you expose yourself, and it's all about just trying to time that when he's doing it. I caught him, and I was going for the knockout. Garcia knew he'd tilted the balance. I think right there set the tone for the fight. It pretty much put Devin Haney into a defensive mindset where he has to be worried. The whole game plan was probably for them to dodge that hook, and for them to get hit right away shows there's a lot more tricks to it.
We keep it stepping, and you know what? By the grace of God that it be, that's why we're sitting here with all these great, wonderful champions, all right?
Well, Devin, how do you feel that you have a fight and there's already another fight booked, the rematch with Ryan? Does that bother you?
Well, if I don't win that fight, then I don't get to the Ryan fight. So that's my main focus right now.
Though Haney avoided getting knocked out, Garcia had him hurt multiple times, and the effects of those left hooks are still being discussed. In round 7, one of Garcia's cleanest punches dropped Haney to the canvas with no questions. But controversy flared when referee Harvey Dock failed to call 2 additional moments where Haney clearly collapsed after big shots as knockdowns. Adding fuel to the fire, Dock deducted a point from Garcia for a punch during a clinch break, a decision that Garcia has called super unfair. It was one of the funnest fights I've had. It was entertaining all the way through, Garcia has said of the clash. Yeah, that was a beautiful display of how to line a left hook on a slick fighter. He then zeroed in on the 7th round drama.
So the first round happened, bro. You said you had a great camp. This what I don't understand. I don't know how. Was he that fast with his left hook? I know y'all worked on it because you said it.
Yeah.
How did you get hit with that shot early in the fight? I mean, talk to me.
It's boxing. You can't swim without getting wet. You're gonna get hit. Got hit.
I felt like the times when you stood your ground and then slowly pushed him back, it was a totally different fight.
Yeah.
When you gave up ground, he got bold. Did you see that?
Yeah.
I got a point taken away. It was super unfair. He gave me no warning. Devin Haney was holding me nonstop. He never called him for holding during that moment. He didn't even really say break. We were in the clinch, and I just smacked him as he was stepping back. I guess he said, break, but I didn't hear him. All of a sudden, a point taken away, which is BS. Haney, meanwhile, has continued to voice his displeasure about the outcome. Not just with the result, but with the entire narrative that surrounded it. In his post-fight comments, Haney seemed less rattled by the damage than by the shock of it. He caught me early. It caught me by surprise. I fell asleep on the left hook. We trained for it, but I got in there and fell asleep, Haney admitted. I was more surprised than hurt. The first time I wasn't really hurt. He went in there and jumped on me like I knew he would, but I was sleeping. That level of honesty was rare in the sport, but it also betrayed the sharp sting of regret. Haney knew the left hook was coming. He prepared for it. And still, it landed over and over again.
Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, part 2. They get together. What do you think about that fight? How's that go down?
I mean, I've seen them fighting the amateurs, you know what I'm saying? So it's always been a great fight between them, but I mean, the way Ryan Garcia did Devin Haney last time, bro, I got no choice but to go with Ryan Garcia again, bro. Like, I mean, shit. Devin Haney just got to show me something this fight, you know what I'm saying? So I definitely got Ryan going into this fight.
And as far as the pegs and other things go,
Haney's frustration hasn't stopped at tactical regrets. He's also suggested that he is still sure that Garcia cheated during the fight, referencing Garcia's 2 positive tests for the banned substance Osterine. On social media, however, Haney's persistent complaints have been met with exhaustion. Fans, by and large, have tuned out Haney's claims and labeled him a sore loser, unwilling to credit Garcia's execution and power. Whether those test results hold weight or not, public opinion has largely moved on, and Garcia remains in the driver's seat.
Looks like a shot fighter. And there's a lot of people saying that, right? There's a lot of people that have questions because it's like, yo, you know, your son took some big blows in that fight. So how do you, as, you know, his dad, his trainer, and somebody that's preparing for a fight, look at that and be like, you know, your approach to this fight knowing how the last one went?
I look at Oscar and I cannot stop looking at the shots of Botox that in filler that he gets in his face. I cannot help but look at that.
But all of that could change on May 2nd. While Garcia is expected to handle Rolly Romero, Devin Haney is facing arguably a more dangerous opponent in Jose Ramirez. Ramirez isn't just a seasoned former champion, he's got heavy hands, relentless pressure, and a reputation for dragging slick boxers into uncomfortable territory. There are real questions surrounding whether Haney's chin can withstand the kind of power Ramirez brings, especially after being visibly hurt and dropped multiple times by Garcia. If Haney gets rocked again, or worse, finished, the rematch with Garcia may never materialize. It's not just pride on the line, it's survival, it's redemption, it's a career trajectory.
Bottom line, if Devin Haney loses this fight, career over. He has the most pressure in the sport.
Ain't that what they said about Wilder? Ain't that what they said about AJ? Every time somebody is in a position to lose back to back, we automatically think your career is over, but the career won't be over.
Devin and Bill have placed high expectations on themselves. They want to be compared to Floyd Money Mayweather.
If Ramirez can get in there and make it gritty, Haney's gonna have to bite down on that mouthpiece and dig deep.
Ryan Garcia at this stage is riding a wave of confidence and public support. With a 24-1 record and 20 knockouts, his career resurgence feels legitimate, even electric. The last time he was in this position, it was after the Luke Campbell fight. Another moment defined by a brutal knockdown and a big-time comeback. But now, Garcia's not the underdog anymore. He's the headline, he's the show. Garcia believes he has Haney's number. He believes the left hook will land again. He believes Haney is too fragile, too rigid, too rhythm-dependent to adjust. And unless Haney shows something devastatingly different against Ramirez, it's hard to argue with that.
Well, I feel like if I hit anybody from from my weight class, or even all the way to like with the 160s, if I hit them with a solid shot right in the chin, I think anybody could go down. You know, it's boxing, 8-ounce gloves.
His chin. I understand what you mean by chin. I got up every single time against somebody that was 4 times. So that's your attitude.
I'm sure if I land a solid one with Devin Haney, I'm gonna put him down.
Yeah, my dad's gonna take the W.
W? Knockout?
Ryan's left hook isn't just a punch, it's an omen, a weapon that changes fights the second it lands. If it connects again in October, the story may end the same way it did the first time. With Haney on the floor and Garcia on the ropes, arms raised, legacy sealed. So the countdown begins. 2 fights, 1 night, 2 men chasing validation on the same stage. Haney needs a win, not just to keep the rematch alive, but to prove to himself and the world that his chin isn't permanently compromised. Garcia, on the other hand, is already planning for October. He's made it clear. This rematch isn't about closing a chapter, it's about finishing the job. How do you see it ending? Share your thoughts below and subscribe for more updates.